Tomi joins us now. Tomi, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here this morning. So, you often hear about this stuff, right? You hear about the protests. You wonder if the event's actually going to go on. You gave your speech. There was a pretty good attendance there as well. How did it go? How did it ultimately turn out? And honestly, I'm always curious about this. Were there people who came in and respectfully challenged you, but were glad you were there and engaged with you and had that important conversation about these important issues?
Well, I'll tell you, the folks outside, I mean, as you saw from that footage there, the message was kind of all over the place. And you'll see this later this month when we debut the full episode on Fox Nation. You'll see the protests and what they were saying. But what I learned is that the folks outside, they didn't really know what they were so angry about. They didn't know if it was me that they hated, the fact that Clemson was having me there, the fact that they don't like law enforcement, the fact that we were having an event during coronavirus. Their message was really all over the place. And then when they didn't have a consistent message and they couldn't articulate exactly why they hated me or the event, then they just moved to berating those that were walking in, yelling expletives at young ladies walking in, telling them that their clothes were ugly, calling them racist expletives. I mean, it just went all over the place, but it was more of an intimidation tactic. But I will tell you this, the event was held by Clemson TPUSA, and they refused to back down. This has been advertised for a couple months now, and these students and these organizations had a petition of over 4,000 signatures to try to keep me off that campus, and they tried to pressure the university itself to cancel the event with, the methods that they usually go to. And then they tried to run up the security costs. They tried to have fake ticket sales. But the Clemson TPUSA chapter, they would not back down. We ended up having the event in the Little John Coliseum, which is a 9,000-seat arena. We hit capacity that the university would allow at 1,200 with turning a lot away at the door. So at the end of the day, they were not able to cancel it. They had to kick and scream, and they had to show up with their masks and their protesting and their anger. But at the end of the day, I think we proved if you refuse to back down, if you refuse to be shamed, and you hold your ground, events like this will go on every time.
And Tomi, all of this over the idea of backing law enforcement. That's really where we are.
Yeah, and it was a mix between just having me there in general. I mean, anytime you have a conservative speaker on campus, they tend to do this. But mix that in with supporting law enforcement. And we had the BLM groups there. We had the Black Panthers there. We had the new Black Panthers there. And I think that their message really was just one of intimidation. They wanted those that were attending, that did want to see me speak, to feel ashamed. They wanted to berate them and make them feel as though they were racist just for being there. But I'm really proud of the students at Clemson, because they didn't let that discourage them. They refused to be ashamed. And I know a lot of college kids, they really struggle with that. They might want to come see a speaker like me or another conservative speaker, but they don't want to be out there. They don't want to be yelled at. They don't want photos taken of them because they don't want their classmates to think that they're racist. At the end of the day, though, Clemson stood strong.
I don't think the word is surprise, but I just continually have my mind blown that there's so little tolerance for any diverging viewpoint. But glad you're out there, Tomi, and we can watch more of this again on Fox Nation's No Interruption, as you said, a little bit later this month. Thanks for getting up with us this morning, Tomi.
Thanks, Tomi.
Thank you, guys.